Hi everyone, Tori here with another scrapbooking process video. This one is called Simply Beautiful and I'm using the Studio Calico Fairground scrapbooking kit as well as some of the embellishments from the other kits and add-ons. Now, do you ever have some photos? Maybe this is just me, but do you ever have some photos that you're like, how do I scrapbook this? Like, you just sit there for like forever looking at those photos thinking, how am I supposed to scrapbook this? And you want them to go on the same page because you don't really want them on separate pages and you don't feel like they go anywhere else, but you're like, I need to put these on one page, and you just don't know what to do with them. Well, let's be honest. This page that I'm working on right now was one of those pages. I had these 3 photos from Bolivia when we were on our mission trip and we were hiking. Actually, I had 4 photos. And I was like, don't want to do a Project Life spread. I don't really want these to be on their own page, but I want them in there because they show the team, plus they show the beautiful surroundings, and I don't know, I just really struggled with this page. And then I also had this paper from the fairground kit that I was like, this paper is ridiculous. I actually hated it. And to put it lightly, and I was like, what in the world am I supposed to do with these 4 photos which don't really go together but need to be on one page? And what do I do with this paper that I don't really know how to use? So then I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it a challenge for myself. I'm gonna put the 4 photos that I don't know how to use them and the paper that I don't know how to use together to make one scrapbook page. So that's sort of what it became. So I started by cutting the paper down from 12 by 12 to about 9 inches because it is going in my 9 by 12 album. It was slightly smaller than 9 because of just the way the boxes worked out, but that doesn't really matter. And then I cut my photos and I tried to cut them so that they would fit in those 3 by 3 squares. And some of them are slightly smaller, one of them's just the right size, and then one of them's way smaller. So I'm just sticking those, and then I end up sticking those in the boxes. And the way that I choose which box to put them in is because, one, I don't like that top, but I like the blue color on that page where the top is, so I'm going to use that, but then I trim the photo smaller so that there would be a blue edge around it. And then the photo of the bench and the like wicked gnarly tree went over that square in the bottom left-hand corner. And then I didn't like the colors that were under that photo where the group is now, and I really didn't like that mushroom thing. So I covered up the mushroom with the photo. That's where that green is. And then that green and orange color, I don't really like green and orange together. / I don't really like orange, so I wanted to cover up the orange. So that's why I put the other photo there. And then that deer that's in the top left-hand corner confuses me too. And I don't really want that on the page, so I am going to cover that up too. I was trying to decide whether to put the photo where the deer is or whether I put it on that orange shot, and I was like, you know, just put where the orange is and I'll find something else to cover up that deer, because I do like the pink on that photo. I just don't like the deer. So then I am going to sort of put embellishments and things in the rest of those squares and a title and everything in the rest of those squares. And yes, it doesn't really go together perfectly, but it looks like it was done purposefully. So I'm just going through the rest of the embellishments that came in the kit to figure out what I want to use and how I want to use them. So I start by grabbing the tickets and the tags and die cuts, and I know that I'm going to use a couple of those to cover up the deer. And then I know that I want to just see if any of the rest of those will fit anywhere else on the page. And then I'm just sort of grabbing out the other embellishments. There were also these transparent shapes, which don't end up making it onto the page. There was this flare with a star, which I was like, okay, perfect, I'll use that. I'm going to use that in the top corner. I thought about using this resin star, but decided against it. So first things first is I go through all those transparent shapes to see how I can use those. And they don't end up making it on the page because I didn't really feel like any of the circus themed transparency shapes fit with like the photos or what's going on the page or anything, so I don't end up using those. Then I'm going to go through the tickets, the tags, and the die cuts. So one of the die cuts said, "Have a nice day." I'm going to put that on that top card where the deer was, as well as something underneath to just cover up the little deer head. And then there was another one that said, it was sort of like a watermelon pinkish color, and it said "noted," and that I figured that's where I could do my journaling. So I'm going to put that on that bottom square with the black and white journaling. I go through the rest of them, see if there's any that I want to use, and I don't end up using any more of them on the page just because they don't really fit. So I put those aside, and then I'm just going through the rest of the embellishments to see how it works. Now, it's been a while since I've been making process videos. I've just been, June and July were so busy. Like, I'm really sorry if you've missed my videos. I've basically only really done the Scrap Your Scraps videos, but all the rest of the videos just have not happened because I've been so busy. August is supposed to be less busy, so I'm hoping to be able to do more videos. So just check back often or subscribe if you like watching my videos. So back to what I'm doing. There was a craft colored sticker and it said "today," so I cut that into a fishtail or banner end and stuck that on top of that one photo. And then I look at this sticker phrase sheet, and there's one that says "magnifique." See, again, I'm not very good at French. And I'm going to use that on that one beautiful sky photo. And I just felt like it fit really perfectly in the middle of the sky there. I did trim it down a little bit so it wouldn't have as much white on it. And then I stuck that there. I'm looking to see if there's any more that I like, but I don't end up using any more on the page because the phrases don't actually work. And then this is really slow. I should have sped it up. I'm sorry. It is sped up. I mean, it's already at 2 times the speed, and some sections are already at 4, but I guess I was scrapbooking really slow, and this page only took I think it took 52 minutes, but it probably could have gone a lot faster if I was really paying attention and being decisive. I ended up deciding to use a couple of these chipboard stars, the navy blue ones, because I felt like they fit with the color, so I stuck one on that pink white diagonal, and then I'm also going to stick a little tiny one above these 2 label tags at the top once I stick those down. And I decided that I wanted to put a little staple in them, so I grabbed my Tim Holtz Tiny Attacher and some staples and put 2 staples in the tags, and then I'm going to glue them down and just cut off the excess that hangs over. And then I'm going to put one of those navy blue chipboard stars on that little cluster as well. So that pretty much is finished that corner. And then I wanted the title for this page to be Simply Beautiful because it felt like the landscape and everything was just crazy beautiful. So I'm using these pink letter stickers from Studio Calico that I got in one of the kits this month. And I'm adding the title Simply Beautiful on that circle that I had stuck on that middle card there. Now I sped this up a lot because it did take me a time because those little letter stickers are so finicky. They're so finicky that I actually don't like using them that often, but I felt like the colors worked well with the other colors on the page, so I end up using them. But really, I don't use those stickers very much just because they drive me crazy. Now, I wrote the word Simply Beautiful on a piece of paper just to make sure that I could find the middle and try to make the letters go sort of centered. They end up being slightly off to the left, which is okay with me. And I don't really care about perfection. I don't know, that would stress me out too much. And then I'm just going to finish the page off. I felt like the middle of that circle needed something. So I decided to, I thought about using a flare button but that didn't work. And then I thought about using a sticker, but I didn't really have any that fit. And then I was like, you know what, I'm gonna add a Prima flower. So I grabbed a white one, stuck that there, and then there's something needed to go in the middle. So I grabbed one of those checkered black and white fabric enamel dot thingies and stuck that in the middle of the circle. And after that, I'm just gonna add my journaling, and the page is done. So thank you so much for joining me. I hope you had fun like I did, and I hope you have a lovely day. Bye!